Oh, Friday, TGIF, Friday. What's your favorite thing about Friday? The long weekend? For those who work, maybe. For those who, some people work the weekends, and some people are retired, so every day's like a weekend. It was a long time ago, was it somebody said, I wish every day was Friday. Well, if you did, you'd never have any other days and you'd never have a weekend, right? So, anyway, what is everybody up to today? Make sure I don't have sound on. Okay, I don't, but I can see your comments. What are you working on? Hello, Colleen and Judy and Maria. Oh goodness, it's been a busy morning. Um, I thought today I would share a little, just bum, 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 the sweet as pie. And what I'm going to share with you on the sweet as pie, been talking about this a little bit, is the kits will be coming out later this month. We will do a sew along so that you'll be able to sew and ask questions and that kind of things. We kind of do this every time we get something new going on, right? Yay! Well, this is the one that's coming out. And, I like to go over, I try to do this and try to do it often in as a refresher to show you cutting with your orange pop rollers, or if you don't have them, to show you why you might want them, because orange pop rollers are the bomb. They're really cool and so useful. So I stitched this one out last night. This is my lemon meringue pie, yes. And I don't have, I have the designs, but I don't have the fabric kit and I don't have the embellishments. So that means I go through my stash. Do you guys have a stash? Yeah, I probably have one of the biggest stashes, but I save the pieces. All of those kits and things that you get, if you start to kind of organize them, I organize all my 5-inch squares. I have my strips. Well, my sister's here. She puts them in baggies and labels them for me. She's not here right now. But I try to keep those so that I can pull them out. And I'll just tell you what I did with this one, because it was kind of a flip and sew. And it's a piece of grunge. It really is yellow when you look at it. I think on the screen it might look a little bit more green, more lemon, but it's for the lemon meringue for the pie. And what I did, just as a little hint, because when you go to, do some of these, sometimes when you're putting them on top of darker colors, it shows through. So I took it and, oh, excuse me. I took and laid it down. Well, I could see the crust and I didn't like that. I didn't like the look. So I actually grabbed another strip, and instead of using the iron-on fusible, oh, Jan, thank you. Our Facebook Lives on YouTube. Yes. Most all of them get on YouTube. As long as I'm using my eCam software. If I'm someplace else, then I can't do it. But most all of them are floating out there on YouTube. And someday, when I have nothing else to do, I will try to organize them. But I do try to give them titles. But anyway, back to my lemon meringue. So when I laid it down, I could see the brown. So I just added a second piece. And I actually use this may be the back side, because your, from Kenai to home, or Alaska, Trudy's in Alaska, yes. Alaska's awesome. Anyway, your grunge fabric starts out as in mode a Bella Solid. A Bella Solid is just that. Some fabrics you get are, color on the front, and on the back, not so much. Well, Bella Solid is color all the way through, so it makes it difficult to be able to see which is, front, back, right, wrong. If you can't tell the difference, it doesn't matter. That's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. But anyway, I added an extra little piece on top, so it has two layers of fabric. So that way, you know, when I flipped it down and sewed it, it makes it just a tad bit thicker, but you know, it's the filling in the pie. It's okay. And I don't see the brown crust. So sometimes, and it was easy to do because the fabric didn't suggest to use a fusible on the back. And I had already sewn one piece down. So it was easier to not stress about it, not let the brown show through, grab another piece. Now you could even grab a piece, if you didn't have another one of that, you could even grab a piece of white. They would just make that second layer. But anytime you're using, you know, something darker, it just helps it to, so it doesn't show through. So I like the look much better. So I finished this one up. I just took it out of the hoop this morning. And now I'm going to take it over here and I want to show you again how I use the orange pop rollers, okay? So let's just talk about those a little bit today. Here we go. Okay, so when I use my orange pop rulers, I really do like my rotating mat. We have these at the shop, but it's rotating, so it just makes it easy. It is a cutting mat, so you can, and it's got lots of angles in it. It's small and portable, so it's got a lot of uses for cutting and other things. It's got a circle on it. You know, it has all your different angles, 30, 45, 60 degree angles, 90 of course. Your measurements down this side all the way around. So it makes it, it's really useful. But one of the things that I like to use it for, well, two things, is when I'm cutting my applique, you know, and I need to do my trimming, you'll see that I lay it down on my rotating mat a lot because it makes it easier. Now, for cutting your Kimberbell or anything else, one of the nice features about it is the whole center's open, so you can lay it down. You can see, and this is also a great tool to use for fussy cutting fabric. You know, you've got a piece of fabric and you want to line it up and you want to cut a specific piece out of it. You can use this. You don't want to just rely on the outline stitches on your blocks because as they quilt and as you embroider, they may come in a little bit. So the advantage to this, of course, it's open. Now the difference when you use a flat ruler, watch what happens. See that little bit of a rock? It rocks. That's because this design is raised up in the middle, so it makes it, you know, a little bit more difficult and makes it easier for it to slide on you when you're trying to cut. So the optimal way to use these, and they have the little stickers, little silicone buttons on the back. You put those on. Okay, and you line it up so you can see. You can also use it to line up with your tack down stitch line. Now in this case, and I don't think you can see it, but my tack down stitches are inside. That's how much it's changed in doing the embroidery. So the way you want to do is we want to use our ruler and we want to cut. We're going to cut down the inside. Then we're going to turn it, cut, turn it, cut, turn it, cut. Well, I know some people get really nervous about cutting because if you're cutting this way and you slide, well, you've screwed up your block and you're going to have to do it again. Second option, you can take your Quilter Select erase marker. Yesterday we were doing it on leather on the pillows, and if I do have them sitting here, I can show you. We used white. My other favorite when I have to do marking on dark colors is my Sewline fabric pencil because it works like a mechanics pencil. Here it is, it's right here. A mechanics pencil. It comes with refills, and then you can get additional refills. and it marks and shows up on dark fabrics. So you should always have something that works on light and dark. The Quilter Select will erase, but if you can't wait for it to erase, anywhere from 2 hours to 2 weeks, you have an eraser, so you can erase it. Always test first. So I'm going to so if you're not comfortable with using this, you take your marker and you just draw your line all the way around. Okay. So then you have it in the right place. You can see this. You've got the marks. Now you can come back with your ruler and hold it down and cut. So you still get that perfect open area. And you can also, when you're using these, you can use the bigger sizes to help hold it. And what I mean by that is, if this is the size I'm cutting, I can put the next size. It gives me something more to hold onto my hands. I can even put all 3 of them in there. And it just gives you better space to hold on and be able to cut with it. So let me make sure I've got this one lined up. Okay. All right, got it lined up. We're ready to go. And this is my Quilter Select cutting rotary cutter, and I really like it because it's right-handed or left-handed. If you cut left, it's left-handed. So I can go ahead, just push the button, put it in there, and you cut from slot to slot. Turn it around, hold it down, cut, turn the mat around, and you just run the edge of the blade along the edge of the ruler. And because it starts back in the corner, you don't have little pieces along the edge that you have to cut out. Okay? Just bop it like that, puts it back in place. I love those rulers. They're nice and heavy. They're weighted. I have this, and I also have the 60. The 60 will cut through. I hate to tell you how many layers I cut through sometimes making all of the kits. So now we've got a couple of the blocks already created. Then if you get the embellishment kit, you'll find that you've got felt in there. There is some leather because one of the plates has white leather. You'll have some different felts and colors and stuff in there as well. You will be using the foam, the 3-dimensional foam, and that kind of gives the whipped cream on top of the pie, has some fluff to it. So let me show you my other. I'm excited because I just found these again. This is a non-slip roller that it's made in the U.S. from Creative Grids that I've had forever and a day. And I tried earlier this year to find them, and I couldn't find any. They don't make it anymore. This is a Quilter Select, the little knob, and you just get it wet and stick it in the middle, stick it in there, and now it holds your ruler. Well, I have found these. I have some on order. What I like about them is you have inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if I take it, holding the handle, and flip it around the other way, now I have half, 1 1/2, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/2. So this is a 6 1/2 by 12 1/2 inch ruler. We do have them coming back in. The numbers will be easier for you to read. These are all old and faded, but this is one that I've had forever, and I do use it a lot. You'll see when I'm here cutting on the table for classes and demos, I use this one. I do have one of the the longer ones that I use as well. In your supplies, you're going to need multiple rulers for all the different cutting and things. So anyway, I just thought that would be a good thing for me to share with you. So let's see, I notes here. Pam, did you know? I'll tell Pam, did you know it's National Vinyl Record Day? How many of you remember vinyl records? How many of you still have vinyl records? You know, I did the long play 33 1/3. Let's see, in January, I think. And at the end, for finishing, they gave us a record with a label on it. We turned it over. I think they recycled them because it's an RCA, I think, song on the back. It's an actual record. So that was pretty cool. Yes, Colleen, I will. They'll be in this week because I ordered them from Checkers the other day. And they've already shipped. So we'll have them this week. As soon as we do, I will make sure I show everybody. Yes, you know, I don't have the original record player, but I did go back and we bought one quite a few years ago to plug in to turn all my records into MP3. Oh, Jeannie's over at Cheddar's in Daytona. Nice, nice. So it looks like everybody's having a good time today. Let me see, anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, cares, ideas? Working on UFOs. Yay! Hello, Candy Gordon. How are you doing today? Let's see. Erica. Erica and Cheryl. Every time I do that and I say the names, it always reminds me of Miss Patty or Miss Sherry. That was the with the mirror on the. Oh goodness. No, it was Miss Patty, and I think I still have her picture here. This was a throwback, but you know, I found it, I kept it out, and it's a good time to share it again. Let me pop it up here. Romper Room. That's right, Pam will remember this. Romper Room. Miss Patty, the Romper Room. WJAC-TV, Channel 6 at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Do be a teeth brush. Don't be a teeth forgetter. Look at that. I shared this one time a good while ago, but at the end of the show, you guys, if you remember or you ever watched, whether it was her or somebody else, they always had that mirror, and the mirror was open, so she could look right through it, but she could tell, and she would go down the list of names, and you swore if she said your name, she could see you. Yeah. See, it's good. Yeah. We all remember that. Oh, Jamie's working on Cup of Cheer. Yay. Yay. Cup of Cheer's been going very well. You know, if you're out there and if you got the stuff from Cup of Cheer someplace else and you know that we're doing the weekly sews, you can join us. You just have to call Mike and he can put you in the class. You have to pay. But you can certainly join us. We love the more the merrier. A lot of times we give classes away as a benefit or a thank you to our customers for, you know, being our loyal customers and purchasing your stuff from us. But you know, if you got it somewhere else, it's okay. The more the merrier. We love to keep you going and having fun. And speaking of fun, yesterday's class was super fun. I didn't realize how much everybody enjoyed making the dealer exclusive this month until I started seeing all the posts last night on Facebook. Now, if you look at this, you say, oh, wow, you made two. They look the same. Oh, no, they aren't. This one is made with regular color matte finish thread. This one, and I can't do it because it's not dark yet, is the glow in the dark thread. And yes, it does glow. You can't put it too far away because the glow goes away. But when I stitched it, you know, it's all in the glow in the dark thread, so it glows. I also used my glow in the dark thread when I did my stitch in the ditch. So, you know, if you look at it in the dark, then you'll see just a little line around the outside. So I thought that was kind of cool too. Oh, yes, the orange pop rulers. Like I said, there's lots of things you can use them for, and just because you have square ones doesn't mean that you can only cut that size. Because with the rulers, when you've got different sizes, well, let me flip it over, because if I pick them up, I'm going to drop them on the floor. Okay, so if you've got, you're trying to cut different sizes, you're not just limited to that. It's a little bit different, but let's see. Let me see if we can just do this with this scrap here. You can put them together, and if you have to cut, you don't have to just cut this size. You can cut the inside on both of them and then take it out and cut the outside. That gives you a total different size of the orange pop ruler. Now the only thing is then you will have to connect where they cut. But then you'll notice if you're doing any of the Kimberbell projects, you'll notice that there are times when they use the rulers in different, they use them together. So don't, you're going to want one size, whether it's the squares or the rectangles, and then you're going to want to add the others. And then if you take a 2-day class, if you take one of our 2-day events, I will show you, if you guys remind me, I'll put it in the class, the recordings. I show you how to add a piece of fabric to the bottom, and now take your 2-day event bag and turn it into a bag to carry your rulers. And when I made this one, I think I made it just a little bit longer so that my 12.5-inch ruler will fit in there too. So, if we're traveling and I want my rulers, I have them. I can throw this one in the bag. I've got all of them. They're ready to go. And because it's got this handle, it makes it really easy for you to store. You can just hang it on, I usually have it hanging on one of the knobs on one of my cabinets or on the doorknob. And then they're right there. You don't have to worry about them breaking. You don't have to worry about where they are. And with that, with the orange pop rulers, when you look, they didn't lose any of the space. And what I mean is, if you get the set with the squares, the square set, the piece in the middle, you can use that as well. That is for a couple different things. It's a 4.5-inch square. You've got your half square triangles. You have the 2.5-inch square. So you can use that. And when you're doing these little Kimberbell projects, there's lots of times you need these sizes. So they were really, really smart. And then the other one, they put in with, let's see, this was in the squares. In the rectangle, you have a couple different pieces, because the rectangle has a bigger opening. So inside the rectangle, there's a tumbling block. So when you need to do the tumbling block on some of the pillows and quilts and different things for the fillers, right there, you've got the right thing. There is a small flying geese. So you have a rectangle, and you've got the flying geese with the line here, and then turn it this way, and you've got a little tiny flying geese. So you can easily make those, cut those blocks for your Kimberbell quilts. And then they had a little extra space. So they gave us an add a quarter, or added, and you notice they all have these little holes in the top. So if you want to hang them, you could put a nail, underneath your cabinet or someplace, a hook to hang them up on. But this is only three, 1, 2, it's only 3.5 inches because that's all the space that they had. But it has the add a quarter down here at the bottom. And it helps so when you're trying to measure to do your cutting and you're looking, just like, let me go back over here and I'll show you. When you go to, just as an example, when you lay this down and you put your block on to cut and you're trying to center, you can use this to measure the top and the bottom and this side and that side to help you to get the whole thing centered before you cut it. So they kind of used every bit of the space. They're really, really cool rulers. So anyway, got that. Let me tell you, the quilt that you see back on the wall, that's going to start in October. I do have it limited to 12. So there are a few spaces left. It is a block of the month. So we're going to start it in October. And the kits, they were shipped. I requested they get them shipped to me. And I think this is a 6-month. It finishes off at 56 by 64. And it came in 2 colorways, either the bold or the shy. But when I ordered them yesterday, I only got the bold because everybody that was interested said I want bold, so I didn't even buy any of the shy ones. I can get them if you want them, but this we're going to start this the end of October 11th. I think it's October 11th. So we've got that going on, and it's half square triangles and flying geese. So great beginner and as well as advanced quilts. Tuesday is our 'Tis the Season. I have, I think, 4 kits still available for 'Tis the Season if you've never done it or you want to join us. And I love the comments. Thank you guys. Are your go-to as well as the strip stick? Yes. Working on the cup of cheer. Yes, the strip stick is another really good one. That one's over in the other studio at the moment. Let's see. Next week we have Cup of Cheer, and we've got the Dime Block Party. Please guys, sign up and join us at the Dime Block Party. We are adding an extra door prize that you will be eligible for if you register and attend. Dime is putting it on. It's in the quilt or in the hoop quilting. You guys are diving all over that on Kimberbell's, the me stuff. There's other vendors and other methods. It's free, so why not join and get some tips and tricks and hints along the way. They will have a free design for you, of course. They're going to give you a free design. I mean, I can't wait. This is a brand new one. I haven't seen this one, so I'll be there. I sit through these with you. It's, I always think lunch and learn because we used to do those where you had lunch and learn. It's a shop and learn. You're going to learn, and you'll have the opportunity to shop on their page with free shipping. Yes, free shipping. Pink Flamingo is the shipping code, which they will tell you all during the event. And then you'll have, if you can't make it, it is at lunchtime, so from 12 to 1:30. Go to lunch if you're working. Take some time off in the middle of the day. You'll have 48 hours afterwards. So you'll still have some time to shop and look at it afterwards. And don't be concerned. I know a lot of you are very loyal to us and want to know, hey, can you do this? Or I'd rather get it from you. When you come to one of those events and you buy it directly from Dime, you are buying from us. We still get, I don't know, commission or whatever you want compensated. We still get compensation for sending you to them, and you don't have to pay shipping. You don't have to wait till it gets there. They ship it. So it reminds me of the old-fashioned, if you ever did Tupperware parties or candle parties or jewelry parties, any of the other in-home parties. It's kind of like that. I get to be the hostess. I get to set it all up. I get to enjoy it. And then, they give us some compensation for our part in it. So it's really a win-win all the way around. And you guys get some good discounts. So if there's things that you're looking for, make your list. They don't always put everything on sale, but they put different things, and it does have to do with quilting. So go ahead and make your list and show up. So anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to send you on your merry way, and I am going to work on the projects this afternoon. Cup of cheer, you guys are getting way far ahead of me on cup of cheer. I think, let's see. Let's see where everybody's at. Let me see. Because we worked on it the other day in class. Oh, and here's another one to cut. See, I didn't cut this one yet. When I stitch them, I save them so that I can demo those rulers, because they're just so good and so easy to use. Again, my colors might not be the same. This was one of the little three-dimensional blocks. And I have a story to share. Yeah, I'll tell you now because I couldn't do it the other day. Sometimes I try to work on a block while everybody else is sewing, and so that I can stay ahead and be able to do stitch outs and share with you. That so far has never worked well. Okay, it just hasn't worked well, because what happens is I start and I'm working and I turn around to do something and somebody has a question, and then I get all lost, and because I'm mainly want to help everybody else. So I will tell you what happened to this block. It almost got torn up and started over, because as I stitched it, and these are a couple things for you guys to be be cautious of. Make sure, and I did do that, make sure that you're using a piece of your iron-on stabilizer on this piece. Okay? You can use it on both. You don't have to. But you want to make sure it's going to be on, that you've got iron-on stabilizer on anything that's going to be having embroidery done on the cup of cheer or any of the other stuff. So this piece has to have it, because see how heavy that stitch is? And because we cut a hole in the stabilizer, it will pull if you don't have that on and have everything taped down. So you want to make sure you tape it down good. All of those things I did. What happened to mine is, and you can't see it because I did have a date with Jack the Ripper, is my fabric folded over on the back and it got caught. Okay, so not so bad. I'm looking at it and thinking, yeah, I can kind of, yep, it does not hurt, Lynn, to add it to all the pieces. It's not gonna hurt. So I thought, well, I can kind of live with that. But because of the opening, when it stitched my zipper down, it didn't catch it up here at the top. It was right at the edge of the fabric. So then it stitched the rest of it down fine, but it didn't stitch that top. And I looked at it and I said, nope, I can't live with it. So I messaged Mike and I said, bring me home a red zipper, because I'm thinking I'm going to have to redo this whole thing. So I went ahead and set it aside, and I did the back part. Back part was fine. Then I had to take it, let's see. The back part had a bigger hoop, so I could take it out. The front part was still hooped. So I sat there, and it's not easy to take these zippers out, believe me. It's not easy at all, but I did. I took all of that out. And because I have scanner on my machine, I have the placement where you can use the little box and the points for placing, and the projector. I was able to get everything lined back up, because one of these sides, the satin stitch was where the fabric had folded under. So we had to take the satin stitch out too. So it was a lot of unsewing. And the reason I tell you that is, guys, you know, we get to that point a lot of times and we just toss it off when we're done and say, oh, you know, we're frustrated. Don't be, okay? Take your time. Lay it down and then come back to it. And there's a lot of times with the features on your machines that you can get things lined back up. And some of it, you know, even if you had it and it wasn't perfectly lined up there because you've got the zipper down the middle, you know, there's a lot of times it's not going to look as bad as what you think it is. But take your time. Same way as when you get it stuck in the machine, take your time. Even if it's all jammed up underneath, take your time. I have taken the foot off and taken things apart before for customers or students in classes, and we've been able to save it just by using our tools and not ripping and pulling. I'll tell you what, you start ripping and pulling, you can bend something and break it, and then you're going to be having to take it into Mike or to your local technician to save it for you. So anyway, that was just a little bit of, I saw that and thought, oh, we have to share. One other thing on your, and this is for some people who aren't in the class, but you might be watching today, you know, with your fill blocks, if you want to, you've got a larger hoop, you can do your little filler blocks and bring them into a larger hoop instead of doing them in 4-inch, you know, the 4-inch or 5x7. You don't have to have the biggest one. You might not be able to bring all of them in, but you can bring more into your hoop and be able to do your background quilting on those fill blocks. So anyway, that's all I got today. I will talk to you guys. Maybe some of you I'll see tomorrow because we have our table topper. Otherwise, we will be back on Tuesday. See how that goes because I've got class too. But we'll be back on Facebook Live. If there's things you would like to see or demos, always ask. You can ask. If it's things that are quick, I can share. If it's more detailed, we can turn it into a class. We're looking for new classes as well. So make it a great day, a great weekend. And guess what? Go sew something.